Welcome, beautiful souls, to the brain body movement where science meets spirituality. I'm Mansi, a neurobiologist, a yoga and mindfulness teacher. I have been always fascinated about learning brain and how the brain is connected with who we are and how the brain works to keep us alive and how whatever we do changes our brain, our body, and who we are entirely. So, today I will be talking about the most requested topic and the most interesting subject that I love to teach and I love to guide people, which is about stress management, and stress reduction. And as a mindfulness and yoga teacher, we ask everyone to take deep breaths. And so, why do we do that? Why do we take deep breaths? So let's talk about the science, the neurobiology, and the facts behind deep breathing. How breath work especially helps you on so many levels. Breathing is an essential function we rarely think about. You never think about breathing while you're breathing. Only if you pay mindful attention to it. Or if your teacher notices that you're holding your breath while trying a difficult asana, they will tell you, breathe, don't stop breathing. And why do we stop breathing when we are holding an arm balance or anything that we find difficult? Well, because most of the time we don't pay attention to our breathing, and yet it holds immense power over our physical and mental well being. When stress hits, our breath becomes shallow and rapid, mirroring the body's fight or flight response. So, we all know that our body has the primitive response to any kind of stress, internal or external, that is to fight, flight, or freeze. But what if we could intentionally control our breath to activate a relaxation response instead? The answer lies in this fascinating connection between the breathing and the vagus nerve, a key player of our nervous system. I'll be talking about vagus nerve in my coming videos in detail, and I'll be guiding you through how the vagus nerve actually works and what it is. And surprisingly, not many people are aware about the vagus nerve. But first, let's understand the nervous system and the stress. When you're stressed, the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, and it usually triggers your fight or flight response. And this is the primitive response. We all have it, and it's body's natural way of reacting to certain stressors. While it's very important response and we actually need it. For example, if you are hiking in a forest and you face a wild cat, a lion, a cheetah, a leopard, what would you do? Right? In that moment, your body will conserve all the energy and it will take away all the energy from different systems. For example, digestion. Your body will not think about digesting, it will only think about survival. And so, this response is your survival response. We call it staying in a survival mode, right? So whenever we perceive any kind of danger, whether you see something, you hear something, or you think something even, your brain will perceive that as a danger and it will activate the sympathetic nervous system. This vital response prepares us for the action by increasing our heart rate, blood pressure, and muscle tension. However, chronic stress keeps us in this survival mode for far too long, meaning that if you are stressed quite often, if you perceive danger quite often, and a lot of times it's not even the stress that we call the mental stress or any kind of tension, it can be physical stress too, where your body is going through something internally and the brain will perceive that as a stress. and it will activate the sympathetic nervous system. It will release all the stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and so on. With my community, I like to call it staying in the survival mode, which keeps this system overactive, leading to a cascade of negative health consequences such as anxiety, insomnia, high blood pressure. So we say that overdoing anything isn't healthy. So just like that, staying in this survival mode, meaning that even after facing a leopard while hiking, the leopard goes away, you somehow manage to be safe, and there is no any other danger anymore. And yet, your body should be calming down, your body should be relaxed at some point, and yet it's not. It's basically, think of it as a switch. When you're stressed, you turn on that switch, but you gotta turn it off as well. And when your body or you are not able to turn that off, that's when the problem starts. Enter the vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It acts like a superhighway. Think of a highway, connecting a very long highway connecting two cities, and which carries the signals between your brain and the various organs in your body, especially all the vital organs, your heart, your lungs, your intestine, pancreas, all of them. Crucially, the vagus nerve is the major component of the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's rest and digest counterpart. So just like fight or flight, we have another system called rest and digest, meaning parasympathetic nervous system, which allows your body to do exactly opposite of when your body goes through stress. You're more relaxed. Your body's energy is equally and evenly distributed throughout the systems for digestion, for brain, for heart, and so on and so forth. Your heart rate, your breathing also slows down and comes to the natural pattern. So, as I said, we'll be talking about the vagus nerve in upcoming videos. But today I want to focus on the topic which was highly requested by my clients and my followers, which was breathing and stress. How can we use breathing, the technique, to de-stress in real time? But before I teach you the technique, I want to make sure that you know what happens when you breathe. So here's where the magic happens. When we take slow, deep breaths, we engage the diaphragm, which is the dome-shaped muscle below our lungs. And as the diaphragm contracts, it pulls the air into the lungs, causing the belly to expand. This deep inhalation stimulates the vagus nerve, sending a message to the brain to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Well, is it that easy? No, it's not. Let's explore first what happens when you are stressed and how do you breathe when you are stressed or anxious. When we are stressed or anxious, we usually tend to take short inhales, short exhales. It's like really quick. It's like you're running and you're basically trying to take all the oxygen as much as you can through your mouth, right? And that's not even enough oxygen to reach your brain or any other systems for that matter. And when we talk about deep breathing or the normal breathing, which is the lung breathing, so we have three types of breathing. Let me go a little bit back to the basics and to explain. So scientifically and anatomically speaking, we have three types of breathing. We have belly breathing, we have lung breathing, and clavicular breathing. As you can guess, depending on the location of these breaths I told you, the depth of the breathing. So the belly breathing is the deepest way to breathe and most relaxing. And you will need more time, of course, to be able to bring all the air into your belly, to expand the belly, and exhale completely also to contract the belly. Second is the lung, which is what we do normally. We don't usually sit and take deep belly breathing in our day-to-day lives. What we do unconsciously is the lung breathing. And the third type is usually when we are overstressed, over anxious, or if we are running, you have noticed that you would breathe through your mouth with your mouth open and you are taking really shallow and short breath, which is not even reaching your lungs, which is not so healthy, but it helps you in short time if you're an athlete or if you're a runner. But I hope that you train yourself to breathe properly while you're running, which I also teach athletes in my brain body movement. So, coming back to the normal breathing we do is the lung breathing. When we breathe deeply through the lungs, try it with me. Inhale deeply. You will notice that the lungs are expanding, your chest is rising up, and you will feel that your diaphragm is basically moving downwards, creating more space for your lungs to expand and breathe more air, right? And what happens at the same time is that your heart also expands. It becomes a little bit bigger and it beats really slow. It pumps the blood slower than the usual heartbeat. And that sends your brain the signal through the vagus nerve that, okay, the heart is slowing down. We need to pump faster. And that will increase your heart rate. And when you exhale completely, so try, take a deep breath in. You can place one palm on your chest to see the expansion and the collapse of the chest. So when you breathe out, your diaphragm will move upwards, decreasing the space in your thoracic cavity and also making your heart a little bit smaller if you breathe out completely. And that will increase the heart rate. And that will trigger again the signal beat that we need to pump the heart a little bit slower now. I want you to close your eyes and very gently place the left palm on your chest. And as you take a deep inhale through your nose, keep your mouth closed, relax your jaws if you need to, separating the teeth, creating some space between your teeth. And as you take a deep breath in, allow your lungs to expand and your chest to rise. And now, instead of breathing out completely, just make your exhale very quick and shallow. Something like this. You inhale deeply, really quick and shallow. And these, if you repeat it a few times, it will actually activate a sympathetic nervous system because your inhales are longer and your exhales are shorter, right? So your brain is not getting the signal to slow down the heartbeat. It's only getting the signal to pump the blood faster, faster, faster. Now, if you do the opposite, we're still talking about the lung breathing. If you do the opposite, where you're breathing in very short inhales, and when you exhale, it's full and long exhales, something like this. So you can even count your inhales to 2 and exhales to 8. And these will actually trigger your mind to give the signals to your heart to actually pump slowly and relax. So I want you to repeat this exercise whenever you are stressed and whenever you need to calm down your stress response. You can take short and shallow inhales in your lungs and very long exhale, which is full exhale. You let the air out completely. So, this is the neurobiology of breathing and relaxation. How your brain is connected to your heart and the blood pressure, and how it communicates with the amygdala, a brain region which is involved in processing emotions and helping to calm the anxiety and fear. So it's not just merely the signals that your brain is telling your heart to slow down or to beat faster or to pump blood faster. It's actually the region of the brain which is associated with your emotions, which helps you to calm down your anxiety and fear. So I hope that this information and understanding the science and the neurobiology behind your breathing pattern helps you. And in the coming videos, I'll be sharing about different types of breathing and how you can use them in real time to help you calm down your anxiety or stress responses. So, how can you actually incorporate these breathing? This was the most basic and yet efficient way of breathing that helps you in real time. There are many other techniques which I teach to calm down, to connect with your vagus nerve, and to regulate and stimulate it. So, taking a few conscious and deep breaths throughout the day can significantly impact your stress levels and overall well being. And for these techniques, for you to practice, you don't really have to be stressed or chronically stressed or anxious. You can even practice this throughout the day or at the end of your day to just relieve the stress. Stress management is highly recommended because it's better to take care of yourself on a day-to-day basis than before it gets worse, right? By incorporating this lung breathing practice, you can harness the power of communicating with your brain, promoting relaxation, improving sleep, and boosting your body's natural ability to manage stress. So, next time you feel overwhelmed, remember the solution might be just a breath away. So, I hope you enjoyed this video and you will subscribe and follow me for more videos like this to uncover the science and neurobiology behind everything. I think it's better to understand first what you are asked to do and what you're doing instead of just doing things mindlessly, because breathing deeply has so many meanings. And when somebody next time asks you to take deep breaths, maybe think about it. What does it mean for you to take deep breaths? And is it really helping you? So until next time, keep breathing deeply and mindfully. Namaste.